All right, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Knockoff, 1998. This is going to be another Jean-Claude Van Damme flick. This is going to be another Quentin recommendation. I'm giving it 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was so bad that it's a good type movie. It's almost like a dream sequence. The entire movie. You're thinking, what the heck is going on? Why the camera shaking so much? This movie started giving me a headache, and then finally I got used to it with the shaky camera. I don't know. Oh, it's written by Stephen E. De Souza, who also did Street Fighter. I better give written by credit to Stephen E. De Souza. And I'll update Street Fighter as well. Written by Stephen E. De Souza. There we go. Stephen E. De Souza. Cool. Boom. All right. Knockoff is a 1998 action film. I'm not too impressed by the movie poster. Directed by Tsui, Hark, and starring Jean-Claude Van Damme and Rob Schneider in his first dramatic role. The film was released in the U.S. on September 4th, 1998. The title is a double entendre, as the term colloquially refers to both counterfeit goods as well as targeted killing. The film is one of the last in the world to feature Kai-Tak Airport still in use. The airport closed in 1998. It was Hark's second and last U.S. film. He returned to Hong Kong after Knockoff, feeling unsatisfied with his work in the United States. The film is also the second collaboration between Van Damme and writer Stephen E. De Souza, the first film being Street Fighter, released in 1994. Russian agents searching for something underwater find a crate as Hong Kong police close in. They accidentally open the crate and baby dolls float to the surface before being detonated. Some Russian agents and a Hong Kong detective pursuing them survive. The explosions are pretty cool, but they don't look realistic in this one. Let's see. Production companies: MDP Worldwide Film Workshop, distributed by TriStar Pictures. Release date September 4th, 1998 in the U.S. Running time 88 minutes. Nice running time, not too long, about perfect. Countries: Hong Kong and the United States. Language: English. Budget $35 million, and box office $44 million. Seems like a box office flop, this one. It's awfully close to break even, depending on what they use for marketing costs on this. Downtown, Tommy Hendricks is arranging a fashion show for V6 Jeans. His business partner, Marcus Ray, shows up late after inspecting a warehouse of their goods, where he sees several knockoffs, including The exploding dolls peddled by a Hong Kong gangster, Skinny, who is not skinny, by the way. Marcus and Thomas then Marcus and Tommy then participate in an annual rickshaw race, during which Marcus's adopted brother and friend Eddie cheats to win by switching with the body double. The body double gets kidnapped by Russian agents looking for Eddie, and Marcus gives chase. Ultimately, the agents kill the fake Eddie. Tommy accidentally throws a can of food at plainclothes Hong Kong police officer. The police arrest Marcus and Tommy, but they are released without charges. Back at their office, an executive from V6, Karen Lee, claims a shipment of jeans was counterfeit. Marcus and Tommy are responsible for over $5 million of losses. She agrees to let it go if they go to the warehouse that switched the fake jeans and identify who did it. Meanwhile, the Russian bosses kill the agents who failed to reclaim the dolls and get tipped by Skinny that V6 and Hong Kong detective are onto them and are going to the warehouse. When Tommy gets kidnapped at a restaurant, Marcus follows him and finds him talking to his CIA handlers. He is a CIA agent sent to discover the counterfeiters who used Marcus, the king of knockoffs, as his cover. Jean-Claude Van Damme is not happy about that. But there's a plot twist later. Cool plot twist. Explosions, lots of fight scenes. The only thing that I didn't like was the shaky camera. The music was kind of psychedelic. The knockoff theme song during the rolling credits. This movie is like being in a dream or something. That night, before they arrive at the warehouse, a truck bursts out. Marcus gets on top of it, and when it ultimately crashes, they find it full of tiny discs. Tommy's boss, Harry Johansson, determines they are powerful nanobombs at their base inside a Buddha statue, believing Eddie to be in it. They go to see him. Eddie fingers Skinny as the counterfeiter. He found out they had bombs in the merchandise and tried to have it dumped in the ocean before the Russians found them. He opens a safe to give them proof, but it explodes, killing him. Tommy and Marcus have to fight their way out of the building. Tommy obtains security footage on the way out. Marcus kidnaps Skinny at his workplace. Marcus takes Skinny back to the CIA base in the Buddha. There, the security footage reveals Karen was in the warehouse just before they were. At the office, she handcuffs Tommy and she prepares to question him. After Marcus leaves, the Buddha explodes. Lots of explosions of fight scenes in this one. And Rob Schneider says a funny joke at the end. Marcus races to the office to save Tommy. After a fight, she reveals she is a CIA as well. And the three team up. While Marcus changes, the Russians kidnap Carrie and Tommy. And Marcus finds a bomb detector in Karen's things. He realizes the gene studs are the nanobombs. And he checks the computer for the shipping manifest. He and the Hong Kong detective race to the cargo ship where Karen and Tommy are being held. This is the funny part here. Harry boards the ship. Harry shoots dead a couple of Russian agents. Tommy is relieved to see Harry on board, but Harry reveals he is a double agent. Plot twist. Intending to ransom companies for not detonating the nanobombs, they have been secretly planning and manufacturing goods all over the world. Marcus and the detective board the ship. Marcus and the detective fight through the remaining Russians, eventually escaping just before Harry detonates it. Karen plants a handful of nanobombs on Harry's boat as well, which explodes. They find the detonator in the water, and they take it. 2 hours later, Tommy and Marcus talk in a bar. Tommy still has the detonator in a distant room. Harry, still alive, is planting nanobombs on a toy. Oh, the ending was kind of a letdown. I couldn't understand how Harry survived that explosion. How is it possible? Ending didn't make sense. But none of this movie makes sense to me. I had to read through the plot just to figure out what was going on because everything was happening so fast. There were so many fight scenes, and the camera keeps shaking, just making me dizzy. I'm not paying attention to this thing. The film was announced at the 1997 American Film Market. The film's music was credited to Ron and Russell Mayall of U.S. new wave band Sparks. Pretty cool sounding new wave music. In an interview with historian and critic Aaron Hillis, they noted that although they maintained a positive friendship with Tsui Hark through their attempts to produce a film of adoption of Mai, the Psychic Girl, due to studio pressure, the score ultimately ended up being more the work of additional music composer Vorij Hagopian than them. Knockoff opened in the U.S. on September 4th, 1998. It took the fourth spot and grossed in $5,516,231 at 1,800 theaters at an average of $3,064 for the weekend. From there, it grossed a total of $10.3 million in U.S. ticket sales. Knockoff holds a 10% rating on Rotten Tomatoes based on 41 reviews. Very low, 10%. And there's nobody in the chat room. The site consensus states, muddled plot, stiff acting. We like the Jean-Claude Van Damme acting because he went to the Lee Majors School of Acting. And from that, he developed his own Jean-Claude Van Damme School of Acting. Very monotone, emotionless, and wooden acting. So the only time he gets excited is when the music is playing in his car. Otherwise, he's got no expression on his face. Audience is pulled by cinema score. But we like Jean-Claude Van Damme because we know he's not a good actor. He's one of those so bad that it's good type actors. Audiences pulled by cinema score gave the film an average grade of D+, very low, on an A+ to F scale. Joe Lydon of Variety called it an exuberantly cheesy action opus that is made worth watching by Tsui Hark's directing, despite its confusing and formulaic plot. Yeah, it sure was confusing. I couldn't follow what was happening. Paul Tatera of CNN wrote that it is the most incomprehensible mess I've ever had to sit through. We like incomprehensible messes to sit through on this channel. And Jeffrey Weiss of the Deseret News called it incompetent in almost every aspect of filmmaking. Right on. Kevin Thomas of the Los Angeles Times, however, called it Van Damme's best film to date and said it had crossover appeal due to its humor. I only laughed at one joke from Rob Schneider, and it was a doozy. It was good. People don't like Rob Schneider because he was against the, well, never mind. I can't talk. Does YouTube still take down videos? I don't want to test it. Okay. I know they did when Biden was president. Now that Trump is president, you're not allowed to talk about Zionists and people like that. All right. Off 1998, rated R, 1 hour 31 minutes. Gets a low 4.9 out of 10 on IMDb, 17,000 ratings. The movie poster kind of hints at the shaky, dizzy camera work because Jean-Claude Van Damme is all blurred out. He's like twisting around and jumping all over the place. And then you put jump cuts in there, and it looks like he's like Superman jumping over tall buildings and stuff. I don't know what's going on. A fashion designer must join forces with a CIA agent to combat terrorism. All right. Here's a review from El Smacko. El Smacko gives it the exact same rating. Excuse me. Oh, man. Sorry. I've been fasting for 40 days, so got a little bit of heartburn. No meat today because it's a Friday. All right. El Smacko's giving it the same rating as mine, 8 out of 10. The title of El Smacko's IMDb review is Perfect Movie if you're looking for goofy entertainment. Most importantly, Knockoff is unlike any other Van Damme movie. You can say that again. It's much more like your Hong Kong action movie, and it's actually quite better in the action respect than any of his other movies. Yeah, it's nonstop action. The problem was with the shaky camera and the jump cuts all over the place. Rob Schneider is really funny, and the acting, even from Van Damme, is pretty good. Probably the best thing about this movie is its cinematography, which has great shots as the foot cam, the shoe cam, and the box cam, in which a little window opens up so you can see Jean-Claude's hand as it reaches into a box. This movie is great for one goofy laugh after another while not being too bad to watch. If you see it, rent it. If you like it, buy it. That's El Smacko. Review on IMDb. Man. Oh, here's Karate Man. He finally made it into the chat room. I love how crazy, insane, and over-the-top Knockoff. Easily Van Damme's most bizarre and wild movie. Yeah, you can say that again. I couldn't figure out what was going on, but everything happened so fast. It was like being in a dream almost. And then it had that weird new wave music in it. I liked it. I thought it was good. Sue Hark has crazy transition scenes, especially in Double Team, the crazy edits. Yeah, no kidding. Jump cuts and shaky camera. I started to get a headache, man. So you're saying Sue Hark also did Double Team with Dennis Rodman? I better put his name in the description. Sue Hark. Double Team is 378 on my list. So we'll add his name in the description. More like this. The Order gets an even lower 4.6 out of 10. Double Team, which we mentioned, gets a 4.8 out of 10. Pretty low. It's got Dennis Rodman and his green hair. Maximum Risk, 5.6 out of 10. And Legionnaire, 5.5 out of 10. If you can't tell, my allergies are killing me. I got heartburn from fasting. So if you see me scratching my eyes or coughing, it's because I'm torturing myself with pollen allergies and lack of meat. A Hong Kong fashion designer, Jean-Claude Van Damme, if you can believe that billing, who had previously been involved in knockoffs of major label merchandise. The Puma has 2 M's in it, such as Puma 2 M's running shoes. Attempts to go straight with the help of his new partner, Rob Schneider, who is secretly an undercover CIA agent involved in an investigation of the black market. Their main product, jeans, is involved in the knockoffs, which brings a representative, Leela Rochan, of the U.S. company to investigate. Paul Sorvino also appears as the head of the CIA operation in Hong Kong. However, just as Schneider is not as he initially seems, everyone in the film switches roles by the film's end. Yeah. Jean-Claude Van Damme is no longer a knockoff jeans dealer. He's now helping out his CIA buddies to stop Russian terrorists. Rated R for continuous violence and brief language. It does have some blasphemy in it. No nudity whatsoever. Hong Kong superstar and director Sammo Cambo Hung served as the film's second unit director. The release print of knockoff suffers from the removal of a lot of the martial arts action shot for the film, with a couple of sequences being heavily edited. The final battle between Jean-Claude Van Damme's character and Australian actor stuntman Michael Miller is less than half of the action shot for their fight. And upon careful viewing, you can pick up the fact that the fight has raged across several different sections of the boat, while the fight between Jeff Wolf's character Scar and Jean-Claude's is the most heavily edited, with more of the action being shown in the making of, featured on several of the DVD editions than in the finished film. I guess they're talking about the cool fight scenes with the shipping containers almost smashing Jean-Claude Van Damme to death. At the beginning, the dead guy that flew out of the boat uses his own hand to push himself over as he's being kicked to turn over. Quotes from Tommy Hendrix and Karen Lee. Tommy Hendrix, I sign things too in private. Karen Lee, oh, things like that falsified document? Tommy Hendrix, oh, no, no, no. Ray signs all the false documents. Karen Lee, oh, I agree. And I think you too have spent your time in Hong Kong getting drunk, chasing ass, and getting massages instead of taking care of company's business. Tommy Hendrix, look, the massage industry in Hong Kong is going through a really tough time right now. I'm just trying to help out the local college girls. This was featured in Dans La Pau de Jean-Claude Van Damme, 2003. Soundtracks, it's a knockoff, main title, performed by Ron Mayle and Russell Mayle. That is a cool song. I really like It's a Knockoff song. Let's see what we got coming down the pike. And it's not Double Team. Not for a while, anyway. Number 1 on my list is Make-A-Wish, 1937, Kickboxer 2, 1991, and Strangers on a Train, number 3, 1951. Van Damme was really heavy on coke at this time. Luckily, he got sober. He's still kicking because he is the man, the legend, JCVD. You mean he was making millions of dollars and spending it all on cocaine habit? What's wrong with this guy? Cocaine only lasts for a couple hours, then you got to do more. So you can end up spending thousands of dollars a day on that cocaine stuff. Not that I would know anything about that. Oh, Jean-Claude Van Damme, what are you going to do with all that money? I think I'll buy some cocaine. The Muscles from Brussels. Tsui Hark is a great Hong Kong action director. I love he insane and wild how his direction is. The movie itself is high on steroids. Yeah, tell me about it. Like I said, it's one of those so bad that it's good type movies. He's not even trying to be a good director. He's just trying to be different, and so that we're scratching our heads going, what did I just watch? Which is kind of cool. I don't mind a director who's a little different, a little out there on the edge. That's what this channel's for, as a matter of fact. We like these kind of movies on this channel. The camera work was just too dizzying. All the camera shaking and jump cuts. And funky editing, man. Holy cow. Was the director doing lines of coke with Jean-Claude Van Damme? What was going on here? Inquiring minds want to know about this Tsui Hark dude. I'll put his name in the description since he did Double Team, I guess, according to Karate Man. Double Team, 1997. So those were his 2 U.S. movies. Double Team and Knockoff. Uh, Tsui Hark. Okay. Directed by Karate Man spelled his name wrong, by the way. It's Tsui, not TSU. Karate Man and Adrian always have spelling typos. Although I have been known to misspell Dolph Lundgren's name, so I shouldn't talk. All right. Well, that's the end of my review. I'll check out Street Fighter. To update the screenplay credit for Street Fighter. And that's the end of my review. Pretty decent recommendation by Karate Man. Definitely one of the weirder Jean-Claude Van Damme films in a good way. I mean, it was just nonstop action, this movie. Pretty cool. Laters.